Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at weather next week to 10 days. For today's video will take us to around the 19th of May. So we're heading well into the second half of the month now with week to 10 day video updates. We also have a Beijing Climate Centre included in this one for the next 40 days as well. That's going to take us well into June. So we're going to start off by having a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top, the GFS, which I'll have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. So 500 millibars is an area in the atmosphere, high pressure, low pressure, being moved around by the jet stream, and that basically is what weather is, a movement of air masses via the jet stream. Red is extrapolating to above average heights, which is high pressure, blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. So you can see it in the week to 10 day time frame, the 7 to 10 day time frame. We've got above average heights sitting to the north of the British Isles, a strong northern blocking signal from northern Scotland up in towards Greenland and towards the North Pole as well, with below average heights as a trough within the 500 millibar flow to our south. This leaves us pulling in pretty chilly east or possibly northeasterly winds. Lots of dry weather. The Atlantic is blocked off, but watch out for this low pressure to the south to be threatening anyway, with chance of some heavy showers across southern parts of the country. The GFS is very similar. The only difference is that it's a bit deeper with that trough of below average heights and closer to us. So it still has this strong blocking signal out to the northwest of the country with the below average heights to our south. Jet stream looks like it's a bit further south with the GFS as well, and probably bringing in more of a northeasterly type influence from the wind. Now, that trough of below average heights down to our south could be threatening showers, if not perhaps some longer spells of rain across southern parts of the country. So out of the two models, I think the GFS is the cooler and slightly more unsettled of the two, but they are both going for this really strong northern blocking signal, which is quite interesting. GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Manchester, looking at Manchester today. So for the next few days, we've got upper air temperatures a little bit cooler than average. Next week, they're returning closer to average, although not particularly warm at all. It's not really until the end of the ensemble now, which takes into like the last week of May. It's really extended range, so it's not until there that we start to see the upper air temperatures beginning to go a little bit above average. So overall, it does look like relatively cool conditions are possibly staying with us up to the middle part of May. Anyway, could we be on course for our first cooler than average month for a very long time? Well, I wouldn't go that far just yet. It's still early days in the month. It's only the 9th of May, but certainly next week's warmer temperatures have been pushed back a little bit. I think primarily because this area of high pressure is going to become a northern blocking feature, and so it's never going to be particularly warm when you've got extensive northern blocking going on. But it is interesting how the upper air temperatures are lowering through for next week. Precipitation-wise, got plenty of rainfall coming up over the next couple of days. So showery today, be showery tomorrow, more showers on Saturday as well. After that, into a drying trend. So it is going to turn dry. We only get high pressure building in early next week, and it is going to be turning drier through much of next week, actually, possibly dominated by high pressure, though there could be showers eventually down in the south and the southeast. Into the second half of the month, this period just here looks like it is turning a little bit more unsettled there, because that is extended range stuff, so it's in the unreliable time frame. Temperature anomalies from the 9th through to the 17th of May below average for the UK and for Ireland too. In fact, most parts of Europe are still coming out with a cooler or colder than average week ahead. I was expecting these to trend a little bit warmer than this by now, so it is the idea that the warmer temperatures that we thought were on the way for next week have been pegged back a little bit. I think it will turn warmer compared to the temperatures that we've had this week. We're going to see temperatures going into the mid to upper teens Celsius, I think. But that could be offset to some degree by some pretty chilly nights as well. So overall, the temperature anomaly from the 9th to the 17th of May is below average. Precipitation anomalies are trending drier. So particularly for northern western parts of the country, trending drier. For the southeast of England, looks a little bit more unsettled there. But overall, these are definitely trending drier, and it looks like most places will have a drier than average week now from the 9th to the 17th of May. That's how the GFS 6 o'clock operational rain is looking for Sunday. High pressure ridging in across the country on Sunday. That high pressure is still with us into Monday, strengthening actually through the country during the middle part of next week. So that will lift temperatures up to the upper teens Celsius in strong May sunshine. It will feel pleasantly warm, but the nights could still be a little bit on the cool side. As I head towards the end of next week, notice this high pressure, sort of on the high to anomaly flow charts, this high pressure going north, high pressure becoming centred around Iceland and Greenland. Again, got low pressure underneath it. This low pressure is going to be threatening showers, maybe some longer spells of rain to the far south of the country. At this point, we're still mainly dry under high pressure. But as we go towards day 10, that area of low pressure does get closer to us, becomes centred across northern parts of France. That would definitely be threatening showery rain to southern and southeastern parts of the country. Notice the winds are coming in from northeasterly direction as well. As you follow the ice bars back, the areas originating from up there and heading in that kind of direction. So it's definitely turning cooler and more showery as we get towards day 10, which we saw on the high to anomaly flow charts, of course. Into extended range, the shallow ridge then just centres itself over the top of the UK once again, before, again, it pushes back northwards as we head up towards kind of like the end of the GFS run. So this gets us to Saturday the 25th of May. This is just beginning to get into the time frame of the late May bank holiday weekend, formerly WIT bank holiday weekend. And look at this, it looks unsettled. Low pressure is moving up from the south. That would be bringing the heavy rain across many parts of the country. Don't worry about that, it's 384 hours away, so it's much too far out to have any reliability about it. But obviously the GFS operation run is ending quite unsettled, and it's still pretty cool as well. GFS parallel run looks like that, which is high pressure building across the country over the weekend. That stays with us into next week. Most next week is dominated by high pressure, albeit with time that high pressure is edging further and further north, allowing low pressure, a shallow area of low pressure, to start to move in from the south and from the southwest. So as you get up towards day 10, this takes us to Saturday the 18th of May. Look about it, does look unsettled. We've got low pressure developing across northern France. That will be bringing heavy rain, I think, across parts of central southern England and Wales. Further north, we're still close to this blocking area of high pressure, so a lot of dry weather, but pretty chilly easterly winds continue. I'm into more extended range with the parallel GFS run. Well, just look at all this northern blocking that we've got. Really, really extensive heights sitting to our north. These are proper blocking areas of high pressure that's sitting around Greenland and Iceland. The Atlantic really blocked off, and possibly still showery and quite cool down in the south. But that's how we finish up with a parallel GFS run. Possibly just starting to revert to a slightly more typical pattern, which is low pressure beginning to develop around Greenland and Iceland. There's the Azores high starting to try and throw a ridge into the west of Europe. We're trying to re-establish a westerly flow. Again, though, that's 384 hours away, so it's a really, really long way out, and obviously it's in the vastly unreliable time frame. ECMWF, again, we've got this ridge building across the country over weekend, settling things down. That ridge strengthens further into next week, becomes a big area of high pressure, brings lots of dry weather. In the May sunshine, it's not a particularly warm upper air temperature, but in the May sunshine, a very, very strong sun now, of course. Temperatures will respond, so we'll see temperatures at least into the mid-teens, if not the upper teens Celsius, through the middle part of next week. And away from the south, where we've got a bit of an easterly wind, most places will feel those warm temperatures too. In the more extended range, again, it's the same idea. This high pressure wants to go north and northwest, so it's trying to get itself over towards Iceland and Greenland, trying to allow low pressure to develop underneath it, and trying to allow that low pressure to bring some showers in to the south. That's how we finish up with the ECMWF run for day 10, which is Sunday the 19th of May. Again, very, very blocked, really extensive northern blocking sitting in the northern latitudes. Large blocking feature up there. Low pressure down to the south, that low pressure is threatening showery rain across southern parts of the country. It's not quite as close with that area of low pressure compared to the GFS output at day 10, which we saw on that height anomaly flow charts. Out of the two, the ECM is the most settled of the two at day 10. But again, that low pressure down towards Biscay is threatening showery rain. If it gets any closer to us, it probably threatens to bring some quite wet weather into southern parts of the country. Let's have a look at the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles today. So these are all the options we got at day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. This is the 19th of May, of course, at 240 hours away. Got 19 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure out to our west and northwest, low pressure down to our south. A lot of dry and settled weather in with these, but it's not particularly warm. The wind is coming in from a sort of east to northeasterly direction. Then there's 14. Again, with high pressure out to the west and the northwest, so extensive blocking. But with these 14, we're closer to low pressure, sitting both to our south and east. So again, not particularly warm, bring winds in from a northeasterly direction and possibly threatening more unsettled conditions as well, particularly to southern parts of the country. That includes the control and the operational ECM runs, by the way, those 14. Then there's 10 that have high pressure, again, just out to our west. It's more centred to our west, though, with these 10, the high pressure, rather than being centred to the northwest. So very little difference, but there's a little bit more of a westerly influence, so maybe not quite as cool with the wind direction there. And then there's 8 that, again, have high pressure around Greenland and Iceland, but the difference with these is that they are very unsettled, minority option, but the trough of below average heights is moving up from the south and is almost centred over top of the UK, so obviously they'd be bringing heavy, potentially even thundery rain up from the south, and quite cool temperatures entrenched with them too. In 2 weeks away, they've only got one option on the table, actually, which is quite unusual. So this is at 360 hours out. You would expect the further out you go, the more options that you'll get. But funnily enough, that's not what's happening here. So on the 24th of May, 360 hours away, 2 weeks away, we have 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles. That's 100% of them that have above average heights up to our north and northeast, and then otherwise just near normal heights close to the UK. So losing the trough of low pressure, but still with quite a northern blocking signal up to our north. That could be rather cool and showery conditions continuing up towards the final week of May. Actually, that could be rather cool and showery, what we're seeing there. Finally, just to have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre for the next 40 days. So these are 500 millibar height anomalies, and they're broken down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period will take us from the 11th to the 20th of May. The coming 10 days has below average heights in the Atlantic, above average heights over to the east of the country and also to our northeast as well. So the trough of low pressure in the Atlantic is trying to bring in unsettled conditions, but we have got quite a bit of high pressure sitting to both our north and our east. So a reasonable amount of dry weather, but always a threat of some showery rain probably out to the west and to the northwest. The next 10-day period is going from the 21st of May to the 30th. And it looks like the Beijing Climate Centre wants to set up a large blocking area of high pressure then around Greenland, with a corresponding trough of below average heights directly underneath it, part over the top of the UK. And so this is a very unsettled end to May, if this is right. This is a bit concerning as we're going towards the late May bank holiday weekend. We'd be pulling in cool air into that trough of below average height, so the temperature would be cool, but it would also be very unsettled with plenty of rainfall coming through with that one for the end of May. And then the first 10 days of June are looking quite alarming as well, I'm afraid. We've got, again, a strong blocking signal around Greenland. We've got a trough of below average heights underneath it, parked over the top of the UK and affecting much of northwestern Europe, so also affecting Scandinavia. So it's still cool. We're still bringing him a wind probably from a northeasterly direction and still very unsettled with that trough of below average height. So a really wet end, really wet, cool, unsettled end to May and start to June here with the Beijing Climate Centre. And it doesn't get a lot better, I'm afraid, as we go today's 31 to 40, which is the 10th to the 19th of June. This is a little bit shades of summer or June 2007 and 2012, I have to say. It's a bit worrying what we're seeing here. Again, very strong blocking signal around Greenland, large block up there. Below average heights as a trough within the 500 millibar flow, still centred over the top of the UK. So it looks a bit grim, really. Very cool, very unsettled conditions from the Beijing Climate Centre, lasting well into June. As I say, this is shades of 2007, shades of 2012. They were our last two real sort of washout type, well, they were washout summers, but we're focusing primarily for this update on June. So they were our last two really sort of washout Junes. And these charts of Beijing Climate Centre are showing a similarity, let's put it that way, to those two Junes, 2007 and 2012, with this strong blocking signal. Now, it's only one model, so it's unreliable, of course. Any forecast beyond 5 to 7 days is going to be unreliable, and we'll need to wait and see what the CFS and the JMA are showing tomorrow when we do JMA Friday to see how supported this is. But certainly the Beijing Climate Centre is looking very cool, very unsettled, going well into June today. Finally, if you're enjoying the videos at the moment, please can you consider becoming a patron for Gazworthy. So we've got 61 patrons so far. Hello, a big thank you to all of our patrons for Gazworthy. If you would like to become a patron for Gazworthy, then all you need to do is come to Gazworthy's Patreon page, sign up for a Patreon account, and then you can send an ongoing monthly donation to Gazworthy. It could be anything from $1 a month upwards. By doing that, you become a patron for Gazworthy, and we'll give you a shout out in the videos. We'll say thank you very much. We're not going to be doing exclusive content with this Patreon page. We could do exclusive content, but we would rather not do that because we want to keep the updates, you know, the videos and the written posts and everything else. We want to keep everything free for people to see them as they want them and as they need them. So in theory it's possible to do exclusive content with Patreon, but we would rather not go in that direction. We want to keep everything available for everybody. We just ask that if you can give us a donation through Patreon, then please can you consider doing that, and you become a patron of Gazworthy. We'll give you a mention in videos, and we'll say thank you very much for becoming a patron of Gazworthy. Alternatively, you can just give a one-off donation through PayPal. This is Gazworthy's PayPal page. So just come here, sign into your PayPal account, and it's really simple. Just send any amount of money that you want over to Gazworthy. And again, by doing that, you will become a donor for Gazworthy, and we'll give you a shout out in videos, and we'll say thank you so much for your kindness and for doing that. So it's been a huge success since we started this. It's coming up for a year since we started running PayPal and Patreon pages for Gazworthy, and we started in June last year. Been a huge success. It's an added revenue stream for the website. We're primarily ads funded, so that's really the reason that we don't want to go in the direction of doing exclusive content, because we want to keep primarily being ads funded. But ad yields are dropping year by year. We don't earn as much from the ads as we used to. Various reasons for that, primarily ad blocks. If you have got an ad blocker, please can you disable it on gazworthy.com. By the way, can you whitelist us? That would be really good if you could do that. But it's primarily down to ad blockers. But there are other reasons that we don't get as much from ad revenue. And so we look for other revenue streams. This has been really popular since started it in June last year. So a big thank you to all of the patrons, and a big thank you to all of the donors for Gazworthy. Right, that is your video update for today. Tomorrow we're going to be back with JMA Friday. So month-end look ahead, of course, and also another week to 10-day video update coming up tomorrow. Keep checking back to gather this for all of the updates. And that's all for now, though. Thanks for watching.